Hey, horror fans, once again, it's the Horror Miser Monty G. Yes, we have come to the halfway point of 2019, and something I always like to do is let's talk about what are the best top five and the worst top five horror films that we have had so far in 2019. Now, this year we've had kind of a up and down year when it comes to horror. Yes, we got some pretty good horror pictures such as Us and Brightburn, and we got some real bad ones, such as Hellboy and The Curse of La Llorona. Some very disappointing films. But let's go on ahead and see what I have so far for my top best five and my top worst five horror movies of 2019 so far this year. Now, let's get the bad ones out the way first. Let's go over what I consider my top five worst horror films of the year, starting with number five, and that's going to be The Curse of La Llorona. Yes, it was a good idea. Somehow they shoehorned in the Conjuring universe in it because the priest was in the first Annabelle, so somehow this got lumped into the Conjuring universe. I guess they realized what a bad film that they made, so they decided to add on this little sprinkle in here. But despite the great acting that Lena Cardini, I think I'm mispronouncing her name, did, and I did like the two children in the film, it relied too much on jump scares. We've seen it all before. The actual La Llorona person wasn't that all scary. Just a very poor attempt in trying to capture a sort of different Mexican folklore, which I thought was a nice idea, but just executed wrong. So coming in at number five is The Curse of La Llorona. Coming in at number four, we have this year's supposedly reboot of Hellboy 2019. Yes, we don't have Ron Perlman. We don't have Guillermo del Toro in here. What we have here is a very poor attempt at trying to recreate the Hellboy series. This film was a mess. Some scenes kind of dragged along too long. They had too many stories going along. We have this part. And what they tried to do, they tried to incorporate three stories from the Hellboy's comic and put into the picture. What we have is this mess right here. And despite Dave Arbo's performance as Hellboy, just didn't help the film. It's just poor, boring, very bad CGI effects. They tried to take advantage of the R rating by adding in some gore effects in it, which was okay, but just not good enough. Very disappointing. So coming at number four, Hellboy 2019. Coming in at number three, we have The Silence. Yes, this year's poor attempt of trying to cash in on the success of A Quiet Place, where we have creatures look like bat-like creatures instead of aliens that only attack when sound is there. And we had a very poor attempt. The family that we saw in the film, where they had this deaf girl that was played by the actress who played Sabrina in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It got a lot of flack from a lot of deaf actresses saying her performance was not true to the effect of the hearing impaired. It was a very poor attempt. We had some very poor scenes, had some nice, decent kills, and some nice practical effects, but the overall picture was kind of bland and really didn't interpret anything. All it was just a poor attempt to cash in on A Quiet Place. So coming in at number three is The Silence. Coming in at number two, we have the slasher film, He's Out There. And he certainly is not out there for this movie. We have Yvonne Strabrinsky, I think that's her last name is. I know I butchered it a lot. She stars in this film along with her two daughters. They're out in the woods trying to meet her husband, and they somehow get trapped by this slasher. And, oh, God, you want to talk about two of the most annoying child actors I've ever seen in a horror film. I get it. They're little girls. They're stuck out there in the middle of nowhere with their, with a killer, and their mother's hurt. I understand they're going to cry a lot, but these two took it to a level. They just took me all out of the movie with their annoying crying. And I feel sorry for Yvonne because other than Chuck, she really hasn't done anything out there. She started in that movie called I, Frankenstein with Aaron whatchamacallit. Yeah, Aaron Eckert, who starred in The Dark Knight, who played Harvey Dent. Yeah, he played Harvey Dent in the Dark Knight, and he hasn't done anything since that time, too. I'm going off on a tangent right here because that's how sad it was about this movie. It was on Netflix, but yeah, coming in at number two, He's Out There. Now, my number one worst horror movie so far this year is the third interpretation of a classic 70s film, I Spit on Your Grave, called I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu. Now, what makes this movie so significant is that we have the original director, we have the original actress. They're all come back, and this is supposed to be a direct sequel from the original movie. Now, of course, I probably show knew we had a decent remake that came out, I believe, in 2010 that starred Sarah Butler. I thought it was a decent remake. It was brutal. It was really well made done, and the revenge scenes were very graphic. I mean, she really gave them what they deserved. And I'll just say this: the original I Spit on Your Grave was a great film. It just became a cult classic. There's really nothing really fascinating or great about that great revenge film. It just became a cult classic. But then when we heard that the original people who made the first one were doing this one, I was waiting to see something good. And what we cut is a complete mess. I mean, scenes just drag on and on and on. Characters appear out of nowhere and we don't see them again until later on in the movie. It would just wait. I really don't know what the hell were they thinking. Oh, just terrible writing. And the effects weren't even that good. Neither. You would think they would know how to do effects even on a low budget. Oh, God. Yeah, so my worst film so far of 2019 is I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu. Now let's get on with my top 5 best horror films so far this year. And coming at number 5 is Happy Death Day to You. Yes, now, I didn't like some of the premises they were doing in this film, but it was still pretty good, mainly because of Jessica Rose's performance as Tree. She really did carry the film a lot. So one of the reasons why the film was good as it was because of her performance. I did have her relationship with Ben. I thought some of the kills were pretty good. Like I said, some of the aspects of the film wasn't that good as the first one, but because of Jessica Rose's performance, it kind of saved this film, made it even better than it really should have been. But yeah, coming at number 5, Happy Death Day to You. Coming in at number 4, we have M. Night Shyamalan's trilogy from Unbreakable and Split. We now have Glass. Yes, it was actually a pretty good movie, mainly because of Samuel L. Jackson's performance in the film, but also mainly because of James McAvoy's performance. Once again, he does a fantastic job with this particular film. Some of the aspects of the film I didn't like. The so-called M. Night Shyamalan twist didn't really fit into the narrative of the film. But overall, seeing Bruce Willis return as his character, seeing Samuel L. Jackson return from The Unbreakable, and seeing those three characters come together in the final scenes, was pretty good for me. So coming at number 4 is Glass. Coming in at number 3 from Netflix, we have The Perfection. Yes, I truly enjoyed this film. Yes, as I said in my review, when you think you know what the film is going to, it twists it up and it goes into another direction. Just when you think that's good enough, it twists it up, then it goes into another direction. Yes, very well, kept you guessing, kept you on your toes. I love the performances of the two actors, Allison Williams. She was in Get Out, and her co-star. They were really good in this film. We see some secrets that get surprised. Very real good. I recommend if you haven't seen it. So coming at number 3 is The Perfection. Coming in at number 2, we have the evil Superman in Brightburn. Yes, truly love this kid in this performance right here. He did a very good job. Love the gore effects in here. They really went beyond the boundaries that I thought they would right there. That glass scene, if you know what I'm talking about, was very disturbing looking. There was another scene where a guy's jaw almost fell off. That was very gross looking as well. So you got to give the practical effects. I love the storyline. I love Elizabeth Shue in this particular. She really tried her best to try to say that her son was not evil, that Brandon was not evil, but eventually he was. So coming in at number 2, Brightburn. So I'm pretty sure you guys probably guessed it. My number 1 film so far this year will be Jordan Peele's Us. Yes, once again, Jordan Peele proves that he is the man of horror right here. We were wondering how he's going to follow with Get Out, and this one is a very typical horror film. We have some surprising twists in here, but it's basically about their duality. Lupita Nyong'o was very good as a lead actress in here. She does a very good job. Even the guy that was in Black Panther who plays the husband here, he's kind of laid back in this one here. He does a good job. We summon his humor in between the horror and the jokes that the family does. I thought that was well put together. gotta give Jordan Peele credit. He knows how to do horror. And so coming in at number 1 is Us. So those are my top 10. Those are my top 5 worst and top 5 best horror movies so far this year. We have some other horror movies coming out. Obviously, I think coming out on the 12th of July, we have The Crawl, which is sort of like a bait with alligators instead of sharks. Obviously, coming in September, we have It Chapter 2. Everyone's looking forward to that. And I'm pretty sure there's some other horror pictures that may not get mainstream release. I know we have some other horror pictures that are coming on Netflix. Some horror movies I have not seen yet. Probably might make either my best top 5 or top 10 list towards the end of the year. But right now, these are what I consider the top 5 best and top 5 worst horror pictures so far this year. So, my horror fans, what do you think of my list? Do you agree with them? What are your top 5 best and top 5 worst horror films so far this year? Leave your comments down in your comments below and tell me what you think about the top 5 best and top 5 worst horror movies so far this year. Well, once again, that's my video for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up because it does help the channel a lot. And once again, if this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you can come and enjoy the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser Monty G. And as always, all my social media links will be down in the description box below as well. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember, horror rules. Haha. Gonna do the Freddie Rhyme song. Take us out. We're out.
1, 2, friends coming for